So we have the iceberg analogy where what you see on top is very different from what is actually there. And the first part of design research interviewing is really understanding that what people tell you is quite different from what is actually going on. So we have these 3 stages below. Understanding people's needs, which they won't state, and certain areas they can't state them. And the whole process is really empathizing and asking why, and getting down level by level by level to really getting to understand what people's motivations are. So we develop our own narrative when it comes to our behavior, and it's not usually the actual reason. So interviewing that we do at Stanford lasts about 90 minutes. It's really a deep interview. This is something we'll touch upon after we go through this design thinking methodology, but when you go back to your RAM labs, it's going to be quite a deep process that you go through, and it's going to take a lot of time. So we have some tools, and we'll share these with you later. We have the AEIOU, so in terms of observation activities, going through what people are doing in the environment that they're doing it in. So these interviews need to go to where the users are potentially using their MOOC tools, understanding the interactions they're having with their peer group, looking at the objects, and always coming back to the user. So really understanding what that user is needing. A huge amount of listening.
Because 2007 is when the iPhone came out. And prior to that, everyone had a Nokia phone. And most people didn't text message except for teenagers. I had a Nokia phone and it was in the bottom of my purse, right? And I only took phone calls. Then I get this thing. I'm like this all day long, right? And what is compelling about it? What is persuasive about it? What is habit forming about this technology? And it's not like I woke up one day and said, I want to devote most of my waking time staring at a small screen, right? So when we look at behavior design, we have this very simple graph. And so we have motivation here. And ability out here. And then, so if you want people to do something, Olympic athletes, fanatical people, you know those people, that are highly motivated, you can get them to do difficult things. And then there's the rest of us, where we don't have a particularly high motivation. So if you're going to get us to do something, pardon my French, it damn well better be simple. Yeah. Right? So when we talk about ability, and then there's the triggers as well. So we say that behavior is a function of motivation plus ability plus trigger. So it's BMAS. And when we talk about ability, ability is, do you have the time? Do you have the brain cycles? If you ever wanted to discourage someone from doing something, ask them to think hard about it. Right?
So definition for synthesis is sense-making. To find meaningful patterns, relationships, opportunities, and phenomena to base the design strategy on. And frameworks are tools which help you make sense of what you've heard. I'm sorry.
You are giving us the slides.
We're giving you the slides. So an example of a framework, a standard 2x2, on the y-axis you have from concrete up to abstract, and on the x-axis you have an emotional state as well. So you've got your footage, you've got your post-it notes which you've written those interesting points that you've heard, and then you're using these frameworks to post those post-its on, and trying to make stories out of these, make analogies, make metaphors. Another framework that I really love using is trying to come up with alternative bad ideas. So this is what I've heard, and sort of make it worse. And turning what you've heard on its head can be a really good opportunity to drive further understanding.